Well, hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for the reveal of our Simon Says stamp, STAMPtember 2023 exclusive collaboration set with Alex Syberia. If you love florals, this extremely exquisite stamp set is absolutely perfect for coloring in and making some really elegant cards. This stamp set is called A New Dream and it does have coordinating dies. I'm going to be using the stamps today to color in and make a very beautiful edge-to-edge shaker card. I'm stamping onto our Simon Says Stamp Fog cardstock. I chose Fog cardstock because I wanted something that wasn't totally white. I'm going to line up one of the images from the stamp set along the left corner. I'm going to pick it up in my Misty and then we'll stamp this down with some black ink. I'm using our Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink and I'm going to stamp this a couple of times just to make sure I get a really dark impression. Because these images are very detailed, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I did stamp the smaller floral a couple of times in different places, which fills in the side of the card and makes a really nice scene. Now that I have the images stamped, we're ready to color. I'm using colored pencils today. You don't have to use colored pencils. You can of course follow along and color with whatever medium you enjoy most, but I thought it'd be fun to mix things up a bit and use some colored pencils. When I'm coloring with colored pencils, I always start first with the darkest color, move out to the lightest, and then reverse that order and work in layers to create the exact shading that I'm looking for. As I'm coloring though, I'm making sure not to press too hard because if you press too hard, you'll start to get a waxy buildup and the colors won't blend as easy. But if you keep a light touch, you're going to get a really nice transition between your colors, and it's actually really easy to blend different colors together. You don't necessarily have to have them to be exactly from the same color family. Here's a great example. I'm using 3 different browns. It's a dark, a medium, and a light. They're not necessarily exactly from the same color palettes. So I have these mixing together though and creating a really nice transition between them because of the way that the pencils react. The lighter pencils are what blends the colors the most, and the darker ones you're going to use a little bit more sparingly. After coloring the leaves and the stems, I spent quite a bit of time coloring the petals of the flowers. For this, I wanted to get a little bit more detailed than I did for the other elements. I want to create some strokes of other colors throughout this floral, so I worked with a couple of different blues, also a purple, and that gave me some really nice variation in the petals, which really creates a unique feel. And just like I did earlier with the leaves and the stems, I work from the darkest to lightest and then back through, and I'm using the lightest color to help me blend all of these together. So this is a great example of how you can mix different colors and still be able to get a really nice, beautiful shading, very smooth blending because of the way that you use the pencils. These pencils are Prismacolor colored pencils, but you can use other pencils if you'd like. Certain pencils may not blend as easily depending on the type of wax they are. Prismacolors are really good for blending. Their makeup is really good for techniques like this, and you can get them in different types of collection packs. You can get the largest collection pack, or you can get smaller sets too if you're just trying them out. As I'm coloring, I want you to note for every single aspect of this, each leaf, each stem, and each flower petal, I colored exactly the same way as what you're seeing me do right now. So I'm going to skip ahead and show you now where we're at. I've colored everything in, and so if you want to see those techniques over again, just rewind the video and you can see how I colored in each of those pieces. We're just repeating the same process across every aspect of the project. Now we're working on creating the background. So the background is a bit of our Simon Says Stamp Marine ink. I'm using a really nice soft touch here to be able to get a fade out to that fog cardstock. By using the fog cardstock instead of white, it tones down the marine ink quite a bit, and so it has a very soft feel to it. I'm going to bring in our Simon Says Stamp Large Raindrops stencil, and I'm going to tape it to my project. We're going to add some glittery raindrops to this with some of the new Distress Sparkle Paste from Holtz. Now what you're going to see me do here is I'm going to apply the paste right down onto the stencil, and this is what I thought I wanted when I first put this down. I was like, I want clear raindrops. But what happened after I pulled this off, I was like, it's not as blue as I wanted it to be. I felt like I needed more blue in my project. Now if you like the clear raindrops, totally do what I did right now. I'm just applying this paste directly through the stencil, and I'm going to peel it off and I'm going to let it dry. The finish of this paste is beautiful. It gives a glossy, glittery finish, but I still wanted that blue color. So I'm going to reapply the stencil after the paste dried, and we're going to bring in some Distress Mica stain. This is the new Wonderland color. I'm going to spritz a little of this down onto my magnetic glass mat from Simon Says Stamp. Bring that paste back in again, and we're going to mix that paste into the mica stain. So now my paste is colored a really nice blue color that I think really complements the card nicely and is exactly what I was looking for. So I'm just applying this paste right back over top of the same raindrops that we just applied a little bit ago. This, of course, is after they had dried the first time. And now I'm going to let this dry. And I liked how this turned out so much more. So it goes to show you, even when you're creating and you find that you are like, not quite what I was looking for, don't throw it out, keep working with it, and you can usually find a resolution that works out to exactly what you wanted. Okay, so moving on to what I'm doing now, I'm applying some Simon Says Stamp Terrific Tape to 4 sides of this background panel. And I have it face down on top of some stamp packaging that I've cut down to be a little larger than my card. And I'm going to remove the release paper from 3 sides of the Terrific Tape only, leaving that 4th side still intact. I will fold the edges of the plastic into the adhesive to close 3 of the sides up. And this bottom edge is where we're going to pour in some sequins. I put in some of these clear circles that have a little bit of an iridescent finish, and then also some clear confetti sequins. I think the clear looked perfect for using as a shaker for this card. I wanted something that was going to add some sparkle but not distract from the flowers. So now I can remove that release paper from the last edge and fold the plastic into that adhesive. And that closes all the sequins inside, so now we have this really great edge-to-edge shaker card. And I love how those blue raindrops look so nice there in the background. I attached this onto a white card base, and then with some silver matte cardstock from our Simon collection and some A2 thin frames, I will cut this out and I will be able to glue this silver frame directly onto my card. This will give a little bit of interest to this card, and it kind of draws your eye into those beautiful flowers. I used some craft tacky glue to attach this down, which gives me time to make sure that the frame is centered and straight. The adhesive does dry clear, so if you get any adhesive outside the edges, nobody will ever see it. And finally, I'm going to pull out a sentiment. This is a sentiment from the new Syberia STAMPtember exclusive. I'm going to stamp it with some embossing ink onto soft navy cardstock. And then I will use some silver embossing powder to sprinkle on top, and I'll use my heat tool to set this. I wanted a nice, elegant, and simple greeting for this because I'm actually going to put it along the edge of my frame. I thought that would be a good grounding point for the sentiment, so I will cut this out and then use some foam tape to attach it down along the bottom there. I love how that frame and the silver all continue together to make a really nice focal point for this project. So I hope you enjoyed this inspiration using our Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember 2023 exclusive stamp set with Syberia called A New Dream. It's available while supplies last for a limited time only, so make sure you grab it if you like it. There are links below in the video description for you to check out. And you can also head on over to our Simon Says Stamp blog to see even more inspiration using this stamp set. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at SimonSaysStamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.